Alright, guys and gals, let's do this. Let's do some stuff and things. Alright, hang on. Let me add back in my key 1 here. We are going to be doing our stamina system. So if you have been following or if you have been following along here, we have done our HUD, we have our health bar, we have the toggle from first to third person, and let me just make sure my event begin play has that plugged in so I can show you. And if you have not been following along, that's alright. I do recommend going back and doing the health system one. You don't need to do the toggle unless you really want to toggle third person back and forth like this. We also have the damage thing, and we have healing applied. So yeah, we are going to be building off of this HUD. So let's see, how do we want to do this? Let's go to our UI here. Let's make another widget. We can actually probably copy this one. So let's duplicate this and name this one, no, not the HUD, sorry. Just completely ignore what I just did. We are going to be copying the health bar. Let's duplicate that, call this W underscore stamina bar. All right, and let's open that up. Got this. Let's change this color to green because everyone knows that stamina is green. All right, we got that going on. Let's go over to our graph here, and let's go over to our set health bar function that we have in here. Let's rename this one to set stamina. Okay. And we're going to change this one from in health to in stamina. There we go. Beautiful. And then the percent, everything like this is fine. And we are going to go over to our HUD. Update HUD. We're going to get a reference to our stamina bar. So let's go to the designer first. Let's get the stamina bar in there. So type in stamina, drag that over our canvas panel. It's going to be super tiny up here. Change the anchor to down here. So control left click puts the anchor in the bottom. So now both the anchor for the health bar and the stamina bar are matching. Let's do the stamina bar. Let's make it kind of thin. Why not? Let's do it like this, a little bit smaller. We can make it a little bit thicker than what it is right now because that's kind of ugly. And we'll do this. And yeah. Okay, that's good for now. We should event graph, event update HUD. Let's not worry about anything else for this yet. We'll figure it out as time comes. That's what makes UE5 so fun. Just figuring out stuff as you go. All right. So we need to have a variable in here called max stamina. It's going to be a float. So that's already a float for me, but you can change that to a float right here. Just click on it, change it to float. And let's make, I think current stamina will be needed. All right. So we are going to actually, in your variables, we're going to do a max stamina, which we have. We're going to set that on begin play. Set this to 100. This to 100. Do another variable. We have max stamina. We have current stamina. We need a drain per second. Stamina drain per drain per drain per second, and that's going to be a float also. So compile, save that. Let's change the, let's do like 2. 2 stamina per second. It'll be going down. We'll mess around with that later. But then we can also do a regen. So we need the opposite. So stamina regen per second here. And let's also make that a little bit faster. Now you want your stamina to go up. We can double the speed that it goes up by, let's say, not -8, or -0.008, whatever that was. Let's do at 2, let's do 4. And I'll save. So we have 2, we have 4. We also need a, well, let's think when you're running, if you're out of stamina, you shouldn't be able to continue running. So it's going to turn that off, but let's say you wanted to start running again while you're still frozen. You need to have a minimum amount of stamina to run. Stamina to run. It's going to be a float also. And if we're doing this out of 100, the minimum stamina to run should be, and let's just do 5 because, if you have a little bit of stamina, you can keep on trying to run. And let's do a bool is sprinting. So that way when you are sprinting, it is draining the stamina constantly. And when it's not sprinting, it will stop and it will not be draining your stamina. All right, let's go over here. Let's create another input, MC default. Let's add a new mapping for sprinting input action. Input. We're going to save it in our actions folder. Let's call this IA underscore sprint. We don't have a sprint yet. Yes, so IA underscore sprint. And let's just do shift, left shift specifically for me. And let's go back to our character. Let's get the IA underscore sprint. Save this real quick. We're going to do a bool called b is, or not even is, just do sprint held. All right. So on started, sprint is held. On completed, sprint is not held. So there's that. And now we're going to do turn off is sprinting. So get this out here. Turn off is sprinting. So what we're going to do is drag off our character movement. We're going to do set max walk speed. And we're going to set our max walk speed to our walk speed, which is actually 600. So let's just make that a variable. Just real quick. Just do walk speed. And I know I'm making a mess of variables down here, but we'll delete the ones that we don't need. Let's make that into 600. And let's just plug that into here, just so it's easier, just so we can just drag off the walk speed. So once we do that, we're going to do an event tick. Event tick, that's going to go off every tick. And off of that, we are going to make a new function. Let's make a function called update stamina. There we go, beautiful. All right, I'll save that for now. Let's go back to, all right. Now we're going to call update stamina and plug this into here. So let's just do a input as a delta seconds because this is how many seconds is passing. And then off of a branch, and get this. And if it's true, we're going to do a print string. It's going to be for our hunger system. Drain hunger, and it's going to drain it really slow. So eventually, once we get to hunger, we will drain our hunger off of that. Inside update stamina, we're going to do a few things. We're going to get velocity. And then we're going to get the vector length. And this velocity is set to self, so the target is our character. I'll save that for now. Let's just save everything, just because I don't know what's not saved. All right. And we're going to do a greater than, and we'll do 5. So if that means if we are walking, it's going to get the velocity. It's going to see that we are walking. And that means that that is going to go there. And then we need to set a new variable, actually. So we're going to do b is moving. We're going to set the new variable to if this is greater than 5. And now we need to do a bunch of things added together. So we need to get the sprint held. And if this is true, then we're going to do an is moving. This is also true. And then we're going to do an and. And we're going to do another branch. So this update stamina thing right here is ticking 24/7 when your game is running. So it's going to keep on sending pulses through everything. And then it's going to see, okay, if the velocity of your character and the way they're moving, if that's bigger than 0, so that means if they're stepping, then it's going to set that to as moving true. If it's not, it's going to set this to false. So once that goes through, there's going to be a branch that checks if your sprint is held, which we set that over here, under here. See, if we started holding on shift, it sets that to held. We complete it, it goes away, it's no longer held. And then it's going to do that and that. It's going to check to see if these are both true. So if these are both true, then we can go on to update our stamina. Well, actually, let's go off the false branch first. So this is pretty simple. If sprint is held and is moving, then we're going to set the sprinting to false. So then we're going to do current stamina. If this is greater than minimum stamina to run, another branch. If it is, then we can do all our math here. So we're going to set sprinting to true. The character movement here. Set max walk speed. We're going to set the max walk speed to let's make a new variable here called sprint speed. This way we can change all these variables the more we add them. If we're making more sets and stuff like that, character movement, we can just plug these straight into there. So let's do like 1,000. That's gonna be how fast you run. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. That goes right into there. So that means our character is now moving at the speed of 1,000, where before walking it was moving at 600. And then we're gonna do our delta seconds. So this number right here, we're gonna get delta seconds. Type that in. See that little F right there? That's pulling from this data right here. So this is how many seconds the tick is going for. And we're gonna get that. We're gonna multiply it by our stamina drain per second. Boom. All right, so our stamina, how many seconds times the drain per second. And now we are going to get our current stamina. We're going to subtract this from our current stamina. And then we're going to set our current stamina to that number. There we go. So pretty much what is happening here is we're going to taking how many seconds we're running for. We're multiplying it by how fast the stamina gets drained, which we can change. We have toggles for that. And then it's going to subtract our stamina by this number here. And then we're going to set the stamina to that. So yeah, that's good so far. Let me just put this down here. Let's move this here, clean this up a little bit. So we're going to duplicate this. Set sprinting to false. We're going to copy all of this. Get this down here. And let's see what we can take from here. We're going to set our max walk speed to no longer our sprint speed. And set it to our walk speed. So where is our walk speed? I know I made a walk speed. There it is. Let's see, stamina regen. Multiply it. We need to do this off of this too. So let's duplicate this, bring it down here. All right, so there's that. Another thing is, well, actually, let's see how that looks now. 100, 97, 60, goes up, start running. Goes up again, start running. Let go of sprint, but still move. It goes up. And we can mess around with this a little bit more, depending on what you want to happen. So we need to also make sure that the max walk speed here is set back to our walk speed. Let's turn our walk speed down drastically. That way we can see the difference. That's a little tough to tell here, but let's set this walk speed to 300. Boom. All right. So that's us walking. That's us running. When we let go, we're back to walking. We're running. And when we're just walking, our stamina goes back up. And let's just get that down to 0. See what happens. we're down to walking. All right, so once it gets below 5, we're back to walking. And then if we stop, it goes up, and then we can start running again. It's back to there. Stop, goes back up. Let's get this working with our HUD now. We need to do a stamina bar. And we need to do a new input. Update stamina. Be a float. And we're going to do our function set stamina. Boom, there we go. All right. And now, our third person character, the event tick. And let's, in the beginning of this, let's get out our HUD reference. To update HUD. And we're going to get the current stamina divide by 100. Select it into update stamina. And let's see what happens to our bar. Well, that bar is messed up. Our stamina works. So we're going to have to figure out how to separate these. But look at that. Stamina's working. Goes back up. Goes down. And let's see what happens once it reaches pretty close to 0. Boom. That's it. And you can mess around with that number still. Also, the minimum to run to get it really close to 0. Be like 0.01. Our health bar graph. Open up. Come on. And we need to do something here. All right, so let's delete that. So if the in health is equal to 0, then we are going to do nothing. If it's not equal to 0, then we'll go to there. There we go. That might fix it. Yes, that fixes it. Nice. Now we can damage ourselves, heal ourselves. We can run around, and we have stamina. Sweet. Oh, let's do one last thing here. Let's make it so the stamina bar only appears when sprint is held. So we're going to go to event tick, see is sprinting true. We're going to get this reference, and we're going to get the stamina bar. We are going to visibility, set visibility when we're sprinting to visible. We're going to do the same thing, set visibility to false when we're not sprinting. All right, let's see how that looks now. So it's not there. Hold down sprint, it pops up. Let go, oh, and you can see that it disappears because we stop sprinting. So that means we can't even see it. So instead of doing it when we stop sprinting, we're going to set it visible when we are sprinting. And then when stamina is equal to 100, then we'll make it disappear. So let's do current stamina. Let's duplicate that over here. And then max stamina, get that. When these are equal to each other, we will do a branch. And we will set visibility to hidden. And then we'll go through here. Boom. Something like that. That way it only sets hidden from there. And let's also add a delay for what it has right now. 0.2 is good, I think. 0.2 seconds. So let's test that out now. Sprint. Stop sprinting. It goes up. Waits a second. It goes away. All right, that's pretty sweet. You can jump. You can run. And it's gonna go down to 0. We have to walk now. I'm still holding down shift, so it's not gonna go back up. The second I let go of shift, it goes up. Then we wait, and we wait, and we wait, and it goes away. That's how you get your stamina bar system working. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with that right now. We can make some adjustments to it later. Maybe allow you to run a little bit longer after it goes down 0, but if you're running under 0 for too long, then you have to wait even longer. Start running again, stuff like that. So we'll figure it out. But yeah,